Welcome to Life with Long COVID with me, Paul Clark. It's estimated that around 400 million people are suffering from the effects of what is now called long COVID globally. There are probably many more people suffering but not able to articulate what is wrong with them. This podcast was started for one reason and one reason only: that those suffering will not feel like they're on their own. Hello and welcome to this latest episode of Life with Long COVID with me, Paul Clark. Thank you for listening to this episode. I really appreciate it. And this is my 50th podcast episode. I cannot believe that we made it to episode 50. I really can't. When I think back on some of the periods where I just couldn't face recording, or I wasn't well enough to record, episodes where foggy brain has meant that I didn't think it made a lot of sense or really struggled to articulate stuff. It's been a real roller coaster ride. And although 50 episodes is not a massive amount in the podcast world, it is for me. It feels really significant. And of course it wouldn't be anything without you and your feedback, your encouragement, and for getting in contact in various ways to let me know how much it's helping you feel like you're not alone. And that's why I do it. And I wouldn't have carried on if I hadn't have kind of got that feedback from you. So thank you so much for those of you who have reached out. Thank you for those who have supported the podcast, whether it's from the beginning or you've joined somewhere in between. Thank you so much. And a reminder also that you can subscribe by going to www.lifewithlongcovid.co.uk, and from there you can subscribe to receive writing, because I write regularly about long COVID, as well as receive updates on these podcast episodes. You can choose to donate towards the running of the podcast, but you don't have to. That's just a voluntary thing. You'll get the same content as everybody else if you want to be a free subscriber also. So, without further ado, let's get into the 50th episode topic of today. And I thought we'd keep it light-hearted today. A lot of them are heavy going. I make no apologies for that. But today I thought we'd just talk about some of the weirdest symptoms that people don't warn you about when you've got long COVID. The weirdest symptoms. Because long COVID comes with all the classic symptoms that we talk about a lot because they affect our lives. The fatigue, breathlessness, brain fog, the general zap of energy. But there's a whole collection of weird and random I call them side symptoms, that completely baffles me at times. And, for some reason no one really talks about these things. So let's talk about them today. The strange side of long COVID. And the problem with having all these strange side effects, these strange symptoms, extra symptoms, is that you start thinking that nothing's normal. Everything that you get, you start thinking, well, is this long COVID, or is this something else? You know what I mean? So let's go through them. First one I get is random waves of weakness. So occasionally my legs will turn to jelly, my arms might go floppy, my hands might lose grip. Like the other day I tried to open a jar and I couldn't open it. Like my hands weren't strong enough to grip the lid of the jar. It was so random. Like 1 minute you'd be cooking, the other minute you're struggling to open a jar of something. And it's the randomness which is the kind of weird symptom of long COVID. It can happen any time, any place, and there's sufficiently length of time between it to forget that you might have it again. So it goes random. It often affects me when I'm cooking or doing something that needs precision, something like that. And as I say, it happened the other day. opening a jam jar of all things. Completely lost the power to open a jam jar. So yeah, it can be very frustrating. Some people may get it more than me, but that is my first random symptom, if you like, of COVID that comes and goes. The second is like, I'm going to try and explain it, but often like what I call zaps or jolts of electricity that kind of fire through your body with no warning. People liken it to perhaps, when you get static electricity, when you have to touch something to discharge it from you, your skin is buzzing, you get tingling from nowhere, you get tiny shocks and nerve zaps throughout your body. I notice it more when I'm laying down to sleep, and it doesn't happen all the time. It just comes back every now and then. So it's kind of like my body is a faulty appliance, and the electrics are shorting out. So occasionally it just needs to reset itself. And to reset itself it does. It all goes away in the end. And it's not dramatic. Like, it's one of the lesser effects of long COVID. So I don't talk about it much. And I might not mention it at all. But it happens. It's random and it happens. We need to perhaps touch upon brain fog, but nearly at it again. There are occasions when brain fog exhibits really weird behaviour in me, which I can't explain. Like, sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it. I've mentioned before about the classic example of brain fog, which is, I was in a shop with my wife Rachel, and I suddenly lost the ability to do a contactless payment on my card, and she had to step in and do it for me. I was totally bewildered all of a sudden. And I've done things like making a cup of tea, putting the kettle in the fridge and the milk on the kettle base. I've done that kind of stuff. That's classic brain fog stuff. But the weird, strange kind of sub-symptoms of brain fog will hit at any time and are easily overlooked. So, like, I'll look at an object and forget the word for it. I look at an orange and think, I can't think of what that's called. You know what I mean? Even though the colour's orange as well, but I still won't get it. Do you know what I mean? I'll be doing something mid-action. I'll go in the kitchen for something, for a snack, or usually for a snack, to be honest. And then I'll forget what I'm doing mid-action. Not just when I've got in there. I'll have already opened the fridge door, or maybe I've got a plate out or something, and I'll think, what am I doing in here? Like, why did I even come in here for? Really frustrating. I'll often repeat the same things without realising it. People often say to me, "Oh, you've already told me that." And sometimes, and this comes out in a podcast sometimes, brain fog will make me lose track of my sentence. You know what I mean? I'll start talking, and in the middle of the sentence, I'll think, I have no idea where this is going. Now, I know all these things that everybody gets at some point, but they seem to be a symptom of long COVID that happens more and more. And I guess it's because, you've really got brain fog, and that's, as well as the bigger stupid things I do, these smaller things happen also. But don't fear. It is kind of, I think, a subshoot of long COVID if you're getting it. And I don't think there's much we can do about it, other than sometimes make it light and sometimes be incredibly frustrating. The next thing I get is strange temperature issues with my body. Now, I never had this before long COVID, so it must be related, but I can feel really, really cold, even if the weather's warm or inside is warm, as it is at the moment. I can just get the real chills and be really cold for absolutely no reason. Or, which seems to happen more with me, I just seem to run boiling hot. I can go boiling hot. I haven't got temperature, I haven't got cold. I'm not normally prone to this kind of thing, and it just happens to me. I can just get boiling hot. It was a nightmare in the summer when it was really hot. Like, we went to Spain, which I've documented quite well, the challenges of doing that. But I had a few kind of hotter flushes there, and in an already hot country, it was quite overwhelming. You know, it's so hot, it's unbelievable. So long COVID has caused something about my body's internal thermostat to become completely faulty. Like, it sometimes doesn't know if it should be hot or cold. It does the opposite thing. So I tend to live my life under stuff. Like on the sofa, I've got 1 or 2 throws over me at all time. If I'm feeling too cold or if I'm feeling too hot, they'll be dumped out beside me. At night time, I'll either be layered up with a couple of blankets with a duvet, or I'll have to sleep with nothing at all on top of me because it's so hot. And I'm sure Rachel gets frustrated. I'm always deciding to open the window or close them again. So yeah, it's exhausting, it's tiring, and weird. Like, it's one of these weird symptoms of long COVID that has been forever with me. I'm going through a list, by the way. I'm on number 5 now. Number 5 of how many? I think I'm going to list about 8 today. So I'm on number 5. I don't wonder if you've nodded to any of these, or some of these, hopefully you've thought, no, I don't get that, because it's not applicable to everybody. Breathlessness that makes no sense. Now, my COVID infection actually did not lead to breathlessness. I didn't have that classic symptom. And actually, long COVID generally hasn't meant that I'm out of breath. So I haven't suffered from symptoms of breathlessness in general. Like, I don't go around panting for breath. But I do get weird, odd moments when I do get short of breath, and it's always when I'm doing nothing. Like, I'll be sitting down, I'll be breathing normally, and all of a sudden I'll be short of breath, you know, gasping for air. It's weird. Like, and it can happen when I'm out as well, but mostly it happens when I'm just sitting down, and it's weird. It slightly panics you because you think, well, what's going on? You know, and it's never good to have to gasp for breath. You know, it panics you. But emotionally, it's kind of a bit unsettling and can make you feel, oh, what's going on here? But I don't imagine it. It definitely happens. Am I unfit? Of course I'm unfit because I can't actually exercise. But it's not that. Usually I'm just sitting doing nothing. It's some kind of neurological response that long COVID is triggered, which means I can be sitting watching something, doing nothing, and all of a sudden get quickly out of breath. That's really weird. And number 6 would be the odd sensory stuff that I've had since long COVID. Light sensitivity. Sometimes everything will be too bright. Noise sensitivity, not like at classic things, not when I go to football games. That noise is fine, but sometimes there'd be a small noise and it will just totally overwhelm me. I just want it to stop. It's too much. Competing noises really I find overwhelming. Like if the radio's on and someone's trying to talk to me, which is a very normal situation, right? Or the TV's on and someone's trying to talk to me, my poor family, I can't cope with it. Like, I can't, my brain just cannot cope with it anymore. It's got this weird sensitivity filter now. And I've found a lot that, particularly with Rachel, I might be talking to her and my brain there's a lag between Rachel mentioning something and me processing it. And she'll have to be on for the next episode and talk to her about this, because she'll probably confirm this as well, that sometimes I just feel like I'm running on Windows XP. You know, I'm really slow, and it just takes so long to catch up, and I do get there in the end. Well, mostly I don't always get there, but the weird thing is, mostly the conversation's moved on, so you feel like you've kind of missed out on a whole chunk of conversation. It might be later on in the evening, you think, oh, of course, yeah, that's what we were supposed to be talking about. Or I might not never get it, and I'm sure Rachel and others have just thought, oh, he's not going to get it, and we'll move on. And I totally get that. What causes that to happen? Well, I didn't have it before COVID, so this is definitely a long COVID thing. Maybe it's a foggy brain, but I do think there's something around sensitivity to noise, to light, to smells, all those kind of things that can make particularly multitasking completely overwhelming. And that's not something I've had to deal with before. It means my life's very simple now because I don't tend to multitask anymore. I don't tend to be able to do two things at once, and I guess that's a good thing. What it is. Seventh one is what I call a symptom roulette wheel. It's basically the unpredictability of long COVID means that I can wake up with any symptom, with any of those symptoms. It's a bit like roulette. You never know what you're going to get when you wake up. You never know what you're going to get 20 minutes later. I don't know how I'm going to feel after recording this episode. And it's like a bizarre rotation of symptoms. One will disappear, another appears. A few will show up once, and that's a bad week. Some will repeat weekly. Some will come every now and then. Like, it's a game. It's like, guess what your body is going to do today. Now, I can say that humorously, but actually it gets me right down at times, the unpredictability of it. And I've spoken about this before. That means you can't plan anything. But we get slightly humorously today, Sanctuary. I don't know what's going to happen this afternoon. I don't know what symptoms I'm going to get this afternoon or how my long COVID is going to manifest. So we just have to see. It's a fun roulette wheel that is sometimes really frustrating and very, very upsetting. So why do these weird symptoms matter? I guess. That was 7, by the way, not 8. I get that. Long COVID again. I mean, they make life harder because they add uncertainty to what I'm going to face at any moment in time. They definitely cause anxiety because I can't really make plans about how I'm going to feel. So all the time I'm thinking, how am I going to feel? What's going to happen? How many variables are there that could happen within this thing that I want to do? And I'm not talking about going out. Like, going out happens fairly rarely for me in an organised, big kind of way. Just random life stuff, Like, there's things I want to do, maybe around the house, or I want to record this, or I want to write an article. It become a massive thing because I don't really know how I'm going to feel at that time when I come to do it. And I've had to kind of accept that and realise that if it comes to the point where I can't do it, I can't do it. And it just doesn't get done. But what I do think is important to do is to talk about it. And I often say to Rachel, I'm sorry to mention, and I keep bringing this up, and I'm so sorry to keep mentioning my weird symptoms, and she always says to me, don't apologise. I want you to talk about it. I want you to tell me how you're feeling, even if it's random. And I do. And I really do think that helps. And I think having someone to talk to about it helps. That is not going to judge you, and they're not going to say, what weird symptom are you having today, in a kind of rolling eye kind of way. Someone that will listen to you and sympathise and empathise. And being heard, I think, is so important, and I'm lucky enough to be heard. So there you go. There's my episode today. The random, strange, weird, offshoot symptoms, whatever you want to call it, of long COVID. How many did you identify with? How many did you identify? Have you got some more of your own that I haven't listed? I would love to hear from you. As I say, get in touch. If you subscribe, you can comment on this article. You can message me direct. You can email me direct. You just need to go to www.lifewithlongcovid.co.uk. But whatever you're doing today, whatever weird or major symptoms that you will experience, know that you're not alone. And you are a welcome and really important part of this long COVID community that we've built up. So once again, thank you for this being the 50th episode of Life with Long COVID. I hope there'll be many more to come, and I'll see you again soon.